Today, we are celebrating Juneteenth. I mean, I'm still working, but I'm celebrating Juneteenth. It was on this day in the year 1865 when Union Army Major General Gordon Granger rode into Galveston, Texas, and issued General Order Number 3, delivering the news to the last enslaved black Americans that they were truly free. Of course, that news arrived 2 years, 5 months, and 18 days after President Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation. The holiday has been celebrated by black Americans for decades now, but was only officially made a federal holiday 2 years ago, the first since Martin Luther King Jr. Day. It is a celebration of freedom, but also this year a stark reminder about the hostility black Americans still face more than a century and a half later, especially as the country sees a rise in white supremacist hate groups, as well as new laws in Florida and other states that restrict the teaching of black history and racism or ban books that are written by black authors. Joining me now to discuss is one of the leading voices who fought for years to make Juneteenth a federal holiday, Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee of Texas. Congresswoman, it's great to speak to you this evening. I always ask this question up front.
Good to be with you.
What did you do today? Thank you so much. What did you do today to celebrate Juneteenth?
Well, the real question is, and it's so good to be with you. Thank you for your great leadership, and hello to Joy. Happy Juneteenth, everyone. What did I do the 16th, 17th, and 18th here in Texas? And that is to reflect and to honor Juneteenth. Specifically today, I started out in Galveston, Texas, to be able to be with those who are, in fact, reminiscing and remembering both the pain of slavery and, yes, the joy, if you will, of General Granger coming to issue Order Number 3. It should be very clear, 2.5 long years that those who gathered at that spot in the brutality of slavery had to wait because Texas would not adhere to the order of President Lincoln. And so he said, I don't know what's going on down there, but General Granger, you need to go. And guess what? He brought with him Union soldiers who were black. It was the bloodiest war, but people were willing to engage in this violent war to end the violence of slavery. And so from there, of course, I'm back into Houston, celebrating at the Antioch Baptist Church, church founded by Jack Yates. His great-granddaughter was there. He was a freed slave who came to Texas and was re-enslaved because his family had been sold to Texas. And so this is a great Texas story. But the real point of it is, I want everyone to know, this is America's holiday. And America's holiday is not just for black people. It is about freedom and it is about democracy. And the very fact that we have a holiday should be, in fact, the basis upon which we ignore the banning of books about our history, ignore orders of eliminating diversity, culture, and equity. This is an opening for America to talk about its history, to reflect upon what transpired, and also to reflect upon a commission that would study slavery and talk about repair. So this day, I am now at a place that one would not expect, a synagogue, where we're again honoring Juneteenth. It's been a day of commemoration. Acres Homes, a community founded by the name Acres Home, people working in the fields, but yet a beautiful rising community today. I want this to be the holiday for the entire nation about freedom, liberation, and the ending of slavery.
Congresswoman, I want you to respond to a sort of cynical internet response, right? This is not me, it's cynical. There are people, and sometimes loud voice in the African-American community, who say, hey, we got Juneteenth because President Biden went to Tulsa and didn't want to give reparations. This is crumbs. This is not a real way of addressing long-standing systematic ills. You know, you have black people work for free for 400 years and you give them one extra day off. How do you respond to those kinds of criticisms that often come from within our own community about the value or significance of Juneteenth?
I understand the pain and the conflictedness. Because this was a painful time, and it was not a short time. It was centuries of bondage. But I think the way I explain this is that the task, the job, the mission, the revolution is not yet over. It is not over in Houston, where we look to equity, equality, and inclusiveness. It's not over in Texas, not over in states around the nation. And for anyone to think so, they are certainly sorely mistaken. This holiday should have come about. It's the first holiday in 38 years. It is the only federal holiday where slavery is a conspicuous theme of this holiday. At the same time, we are fighting to ensure voting rights because it is impacting Texas and many others. The Voting Rights Enhancement Act must be passed. And certainly issues dealing with equity, dealing with social justice and criminal justice, all of that must continue. No one is ignoring that. And the commission is not a day that I am not engaged in a discussion to ensure we do have HR 40, a commission to heal, to repair, to restore, and to place slavery and its trajectory at the highest level of study in the federal government. Let me be very clear. We should be studying about Latinos, AAPI. We should be studying about Southeast Asians, Africans, African Americans, Anglos. America is a mosaic, and no one should be ignored. But certainly, slavery has been something that has been long to be talked about. I believe Juneteenth, a commemoration of freedom. In our commemoration today, we lit candles, we prayed, and we thanked and recognized those who had lived, who were born and died and never saw freedom. I think that is a legitimate, powerful reason to have Juneteenth, as well as its inspirational grounding on freedom and democracy, and that the work is not finished, it is still continuing. And we will go on and on and on until freedom comes in its totality. Use Juneteenth as a catapult to the challenges of the future and bring people from all backgrounds, Americans. This is an American holiday, not a Black holiday. It is about what happened in America. Tell the story and make it real. That's what Juneteenth is about.
Congressman Sheila Jackson Lee, thank you so very much. That is fantastic. We got to go to a quick break. Before the break, I wanted to mention that this weekend also marked a somber anniversary. 8 years ago, last weekend, 9 Black churchgoers were assassinated by white supremacists during a Bible study at the Mother Emanuel AME Church in Charleston, South Carolina. Among the fatalities was the senior pastor, state senator, and my personal friend, Clementa Pinckney. The first political campaign I ever ran was for Clem Pinckney back in 1997. He taught me about life, community, and faith, and his death wasn't just a personal tragedy, but a political one. When Republicans like Nikki Haley and Lindsey Graham tried to downplay the attack, I wrote, "Now is not the time to avoid politics. We must engage and attack white supremacy in all of its forms and be willing to call out the political leaders who dog whistle it into existence for electoral gain." Those words still ring true today. Our hearts go out to Clem's wife, Jennifer, and his children.